Nobody wanted to see the Kansas City Chiefs do this. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Kansas City Chiefs news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Patrick Mahomes and Chiefs offense are about to go scorched earth on rest of NFL. Much to the dismay of the other teams in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl last season with the worst offense of Patrick Mahomes' tenure as their starting quarterback. That's not to say that Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, Isaiah Pacheco, and head coach Andy Reid didn't play a huge role in winning another Super Bowl last season. However, the offense's production and efficiency were way down from the first 5 seasons of the Mahomes dynasty. The Chiefs' drop in offensive production was centered around a clear deficiency in creating explosive plays in the passing game. It's been noted that KC's wide receivers last season, outside of Rashee Rice, limited the offensive options and their overall results. Mahomes did the best he could with what he had, leaning heavily on Rice and Travis Kelce. Fortunately, the defense stepped up and delivered another Super Bowl victory. Just how much of a drop-off was there last season? Well, in KC's first 5 seasons with Mahomes as the starting quarterback, they averaged a little over 400 total yards per game, with about 295 of those yards through the air. Mahomes averaged 8.1 yards per passing attempt, and the offense averaged around 30 points per game. Putting up those kinds of numbers over a 5-year span is insane. But last year, the stats dropped to typical NFL levels. The Chiefs averaged just 351.3 total yards per game with just 246.4 passing yards. Basically, the Chiefs dropped their average passing yards per game last season by almost 50 yards. The team also scored just 21.8 points per game, over 8 points below their previous 5-year average. And Mahomes saw his yards per attempt number drop over a yard per attempt down to 7.0. The Chiefs spent a lot of time and resources on trying to get the offense back on track this offseason. They signed Marquise Hollywood Brown in free agency and spent their top draft pick on speedy wideout Xavier Worthy. Throughout training camp, getting back to being more explosive down the field was a clear emphasis. The debut of this revamped offense against the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday should have the rest of the NFL worried that KC's elite offensive production is about to come roaring back. The Chiefs put up 27 points and 353 yards, including 281 yards passing, against the Ravens last Thursday night. Patrick Mahomes averaged an impressive 10.4 yards per attempt. Rashee Rice showed the NFL he is poised to be a true number 1 wideout, and Xavier Worthy turned a lot of heads with an explosive 2-touchdown debut. While 27 points, 353 total yards, and 281 passing yards may not be quite at the elite level of their first 5 seasons with Mahomes, you also have to take into account who it was against. Last season, the Baltimore Ravens allowed the fewest points in the NFL and were the 6th best defense in yards and passing yards allowed. Opposing offenses put up just 191.9 passing yards per game and 16.5 points last year against the Ravens' defense. Even in the Chiefs' win over Baltimore in the AFC Championship game, the Chiefs only had 230 yards passing, scored 17 points, and Mahomes averaged just 6.2 yards per attempt. So last Thursday, the Chiefs scored 10 more points and passed for 51 more yards. And they did so without Hollywood Brown and with a quiet night from Travis Kelce. Now, to be fair, you can't assume too much from just one game, and the Baltimore Ravens turned over much of their defensive staff last offseason. However, the Ravens still have talented players at all 3 levels of their defense, and most are still anticipating that by the end of the season, they will still be viewed as one of the better defenses in all the NFL. The second story is Kansas City Chiefs' edge-thrilling season opener by inches. The Kansas City Chiefs began their quest for a third straight Super Bowl triumph by holding off the Baltimore Ravens by inches in their AFC Championship rematch. The game came down to a video review after Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson found tight end Isaiah Likely for a touchdown as the clock expired. But he was ruled out of bounds as the review spotted a toe landing on the end line to give the Chiefs a 27-20 victory. The highly anticipated season opener was delayed by 20 minutes as Arrowhead Stadium was struck by a lightning storm. Baltimore jumped on top early, leading 7-0 in the first quarter as Derrick Henry ran in from 5 yards. But the Chiefs soon responded, rookie Xavier Worthy leveling the score in just 5 plays. Harrison Butker landed field goals from 32 and 31 yards to give Kansas the lead in the second quarter. Justin Tucker responding to cut the halftime gap to 13-10. Isaiah Pacheco's one-year touchdown run made it 20-10 after 3 quarters before Jackson, who threw for 273 yards, responded at the start of the final period by finding Likely from 49 yards. Patrick Mahomes, who threw for 291 yards and an interception, found Worthy for his second touchdown from 35 yards. And after Tucker cut the gap to 7 with a 32-yard field goal, the Chiefs' defense closed the Ravens out of the end zone in 3 consecutive plays to squeeze home. The Kansas City Chiefs' relationship with referees has become a hot topic on social media, and the controversy was stoked further on Thursday night. The reigning Super Bowl champions kicked off their season with a victory, defeating the Baltimore Ravens 27-20 at Arrowhead Stadium in a nail-biting finish that saw an Isaiah Likely touchdown disallowed as time ran out. While that decision was straightforward, with replays confirming the tight end's toe was out of bounds when he caught a pass from Lamar Jackson, there was another moment where the Chiefs clearly broke the rules and got away with it. As the first half was drawing to a close, Jackson and the Ravens were deep in Chiefs territory and looking to score a go-ahead touchdown. With 9 seconds left until halftime, the Chiefs' defense seemed disorganized as Jackson prepared to snap the ball. Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, unhappy with the setup, ran down the sideline to call for a timeout. This didn't go unnoticed by former NFL referee Terry McCauley, NBC's rules expert, who highlighted that only head coach Andy Reid is permitted to call for a timeout from the Chiefs' sideline. During the game's tense moments, an exasperated broadcast captured the essence of the controversy when McCauley remarked, "He can't do that. It has to be the head coach that comes down. The assistant coach. Nobody else can call a timeout on the sideline except the head coach." The third story is Kansas City Chiefs begin quest for historic Super Bowl three-peat. He doesn't watch as much football anymore, but Jerry Kramer surely plans to ease into his leather recliner with a glass of bourbon and follow along as the Kansas City Chiefs chase history this season. The legendary Green Bay Packers guard even found himself watching part of the Chiefs' preseason, which is another thing he normally wouldn't do. Kramer, who at 88 years old is about as throwback as it gets, earned the nickname Zipper because of all his stitches. And there he was, watching Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes throw a behind-the-back pass to Travis Kelce in mid-August. He didn't hate it. "I kinda got a kick out of it," Kramer says. He will root for the Chiefs as long as they don't play the Packers. He wants to see another team make history. It's been 56 years since Kramer's Packers won 3 consecutive championships, an NFL title in 1966, followed by Super Bowl wins in 1967 and 1968. He can't believe that no team has won 3 straight in the Super Bowl era. "I thought New England would probably do it," Kramer says, "with Brady and all of his bunch, but we still seem to be in that place by ourselves." Three-peats are a rarity. The Los Angeles Lakers were the last North American pro team to do it when they won NBA titles from 2000 to 2002. The New York Yankees won 3 straight World Series from 1998 to 2000. The NHL hasn't had a team win 3 consecutive titles since the New York Islanders won Stanley Cups in 1980 to 1983. It's even more elusive in football. 7 other teams, including Tom Brady's New England Patriots, won back-to-back Super Bowls but failed to win a championship the following season. It's never been done in major college football, with Georgia falling short in 2023 after losing the SEC championship game 27-24 to Alabama. The Bulldogs did not receive a college football playoff bid, joining 7 other teams spanning 8 decades that failed to win 3 straight titles. The three-peat is almost a mystical achievement. 3 is considered the number of joy in numerology. Winning 1 title is an achievement, 2 is an even greater accomplishment, but 3 is a trend. Three-peats are definitive. UConn men's basketball coach Dan Hurley, whose team will begin its pursuit of a 3rd straight NCAA title this fall, says a three-peat cements a dynasty.